Hello everyone. I wish I could see all of your faces. We usually do our HollenBall parent meeting in person, but due to COVID-19, this year we're having a virtual parent meeting. So HollenBall Juniors is an affordable volleyball club for 4th through 12th grade, and we have a lot of different variety levels of competition for different teams that you can try out for. So I am Marissa HollenBall Dent, and I'm the director. So our assistant is Cindy Hartman, and I could not do it without her. She is currently the 7th grade volleyball coach at Greenbrier. However, she started the volleyball program at Greenbrier about 30 years ago and was head coach for 28 years. So she's a phenomenal lady and she helps a ton. Her daughter, Kobe Hartman, is our head coach. She is an amazing volleyball coach and has a lot of qualifications under her belt. And so she is also on our committee, along with Samantha Robinson, which is the sweetest helper that helps with all of our admin stuff. So they're all great, and we have great stuff in store for you here at HollenBall. So something that really makes this club so great are all of our coaches. And so most of them are currently college volleyball players or have played college volleyball in the past. And so I'd love for you to navigate our website, and you can check out all of our coaches' bios to read about the experience that they have. So they really pour in a lot to this program, and they're a huge reason for why this program is so great. Big news, this is our 10th year, so I cannot believe it. It does not even seem real that it's been a decade, but I'm so excited to see what our 10th year has in store for us. So looking back, where our club started was 10 years ago when I was actually a junior in high school. I was going to play for a club team located in Little Rock. And so we were kind of hesitant just because that's a long drive and a big commitment. And so the director, BJ Golden, actually suggested that my dad create his own volleyball club in Greenbrier since we didn't have one, because club ball was not what it is today 10 years ago. So it was definitely not as common and not the thing that it is today. And so my dad actually started his own volleyball club. However, it was just one team, and it was me and all of my friends. And so we played for 2 years. And so after I was done playing and graduated, I coached my dad that 3rd year. And we slowly started to grow, which was never his intentions. He just was starting a volleyball club for his daughter so that I could play. But it was just a lot of interest in Greenbrier, and we started to see our club grow. So by that point, it had grown to about 7 or 8 teams, and sadly, he unexpectedly passed away 6 summers ago. And so when that happened, with a heavy heart, I had no greater want than to take over in my dad's honor. And so we changed the club name from Greenbrier Volley to HollenBall Juniors, kind of like a play on words because my last name is HollenBall. So we did that in honor of my dad, and so it has been the biggest blessing the last, this will be my 7th year as director. So it has been the biggest blessing, just all that the community has poured into this and just all the opportunity I've had through this program. So last year, we actually have grown significantly. Every year we've seen growth. Last year we had 21 teams with about 200 girls. So we have grown into just a phenomenal program, but that would not be possible without God, and He's just blessed this program time and time again, and just without the amazing coaches we have, as well as just the amazing support we have from the community. So we are actually going to go over this information packet, and so you can actually find this on our website. If you go to www.hollenballjuniors.com, there is a lot of great information and tons of information packed on our website you can check out. You can also follow us on Facebook, HollenBall Juniors, and we will continue to post updates there. So this packet, if you go to the information tab on our website and scroll down to the bottom, you can click on the attachment, HollenBall Juniors Complete Packet, and that's what we'll be going over today, and it explains the entire tryout process and the different team options you have. If you have any questions after this video, you can call or text me at any time at 501-581-9594. So the first team option we have is actually available for 4th grade all the way to 12th grade. And it is our most common team that we see people try out for. And it is for 4th through 12th grade. So I know that we keep kind of coining the term tryout. And so we do have that tryout process, and we'll kind of talk about how we form teams in a little bit. But the great news is all 4th through 6th graders make a team. We do start making cuts in 7th grade for 7th through 12th grade. However, we try, if at all possible, to find a place for everyone based on skill level. And so it's not super common that we have to cut. We really try to find an opportunity for everyone. In the first page, we have the cost breakdown for the local team. And so all teams consistent, that tryout fee of $25, as well as all teams will also have to pay for their Delta membership, which will be $52. It's actually broken up into 2 payments this year, and we'll go into that in a little bit as well. There's also jersey cost, which is due at tryouts as well, and it is $55. So other than that, there's just 3 payments of $135 each, and they are due throughout the season online. And that first one's not due till December. The tournaments are on here as well, but it's super important to note, especially this year, that these could be tentative, these could change just to these uncharted waters that we're all in. And so please note, you can look and see where they're at. So they're local, so they'll be Little Rock or Conway. And so you'll only play on one day. And there are a few on Sundays this year for older girls, and we're not crazy fond of that. We know that a lot of people are against playing on Sundays, and we are very sad that the tournament directors are hosting a few on Sunday this year, so we are so sorry about that. But you can already look ahead to which ones are on Sundays, and it's just a few of them, and it's for some of our older divisions. So all of the younger girls divisions are on Saturday. And so it is important to note to keep checking the website in case there are changes this year, just so that you can kind of plan forward, because there's already tentative to change that very last date. We've heard from the tournament directors that could possibly be changing. So your coaches will keep in touch, as well as keep checking that website. And so it is also important to note that all of these dates, the first 4 are half-day pool play events. The last tournament is a full day where you'll play in the AM pool play, then you'll play bracket and play it all out in the afternoon. But for those half-day events, you will not know till the week of when they release the schedule whether you'll be AM or PM weight. And so it's important that you plan to commit your whole day until you find out when you're actually playing. So let us know as soon as you know about whether you can't come to practice or tournament, because it's important those teams need that commitment so that your team has enough to play. So, and just keeping in mind with that, our 4th through 6th grade, we try to let everyone play. We try to, make it as equal as possible, to the coach's discretion. We try to focus on getting everyone in. Whereas once you start 7th grade to 12th grade, equal playing time is not guaranteed. Of course, we're going to try to get everyone in, but all in all, we want to keep competitive. So equal playing time is not guaranteed. So with that local team, we do practice once a week starting in December for an hour and a half, and those practices will be at Greenbrier Event Center or at the Spring Hill Hangar, which is between Greenbrier and Conway, a little facility in Spring Hill. So there are scholarship opportunities, and so because I know when you're looking at this payment, y'all might be like, why did they call it affordable? Well, if you kind of look into club volleyball, we are super affordable. So club volleyball is expensive. There's a lot that goes into it. So those payments go to paying our coaches, which we talked about are very qualified, and most that play college volleyball. We want to, value their time. And so we pay them for those practices, those tournaments. We have to pay for gym rental for practices. We have to pay for volleyball and equipment. We have to pay for those tournament entry fees. We have to pay for coach certification, for admin costs. The list goes on and on of just different charges we have. And so that's what all of your payments go towards. So it's taking it more to the next level, to where it's not just a city league or intramurals. This is more a competitive perspective of volleyball, to where you're getting that quality instruction. But with that being said, if finances are a struggle, we don't want that to prevent you from playing. So we do want to create the opportunity for as many as possible. So we do have a scholarship for financial need on our website. you can go to the information tab, scroll down, and there is an attachment called scholarship, and fill that out and bring it to the day of tryouts. That's the deadline. Then we will let you know what amount you qualified for or if you qualified. So there's also a serve-a-thon, which is an individual fundraiser where you can get sponsors, and your coaches will be giving you more details about that. And that is totally optional, just a way you can help raise money for your season dues. And with that being said, on the flip side, if you've been super blessed or fortunate and want to kind of give back to HollenBall and help provide opportunity for more girls to play, you can also donate to those funds. And so definitely let me know if you'd be interested in being a donor as well. So we will have 2 stores this year, and any of the teams, local, development, or regional, can purchase from our online stores, and we'll send those links out in the next few weeks. Our first one is a local business, Bleacher Bling, and LaDonna and Heather do an amazing job at creating the cutest HBJ apparel for us, and so we'll have that out soon where you can shop and buy some new cute HBJ things. And then if you need knee pads or black shorts or sports bras or any of that, we have a BSN link, and you're able to buy some of those through those vendors as well. And so do keep in mind that spandex are not required. A lot of our teams do wear them when playing, but if you're more comfortable with black shorts, that's also perfectly appropriate. Volleyball shoes are not required. If you have them, great. You can also wear tennis shoes. And so both of the stores are totally optional. You are not obligated to buy anything from those stores, but they're a great avenue if you're looking for some HollenBall gear. So moving on, we are going to cover, so with the local team, if you feel like your team is doing really well and really competitive, you can add on, for the older teams, you can add on some 2-day tournaments to make it a little more competitive. Totally optional, you are not obligated to, but if your whole team is on board, you can add on some 2-day tournaments to kind of make a mix of local versus regional if you're kind of wanting a little more competition, but it's not required, it's totally optional. It's just if you have enough interest on your team to add on a few tournaments at a little bit of an additional cost. So definitely reach out to your coach if you're interested in doing that as a team as well. So moving on, we are going to cover the developmental teams. So the developmental teams are only an option for the 4th and 5th graders. So if you're in 4th or 5th grade, you can pick whether you're going to try out for a local or developmental team. And so as you can see, the local team has those 5 events. A developmental team only has 2 events, and they are both in Conway. And they are half-day events, just the pool play, either an AM or PM wave. It's a shorter season and just 1 practice a week for an hour. And so they're still required to pay that $52 membership, the tryout fee for $25, but their jersey fee is Augusta, and it's $25, rather than the local team are these long sleeve name brand Mizuno purple jerseys for $55 for the local team. So the jersey cost for the developmental team is just $25, the Augusta. And their payments are just $175. So $30 will be due at tryouts, and then that remaining amount will be due in January. So, and they can also still buy from the store, and that's a great opportunity. So I have a lot of parents ask me for 4th and 5th graders, like, well, my volleyball player is brand new, so I guess that means she needs to play developmental. That's not necessarily the case. The local team and the developmental team at that age level are both for beginners. They're both going to teach those fundamental basic skills. One's just more of an investment and more time committed, so that might be really good if you already know you love volleyball and want to take it more seriously, whereas the developmental team may be a better option if you just want to kind of get your feet wet. But all in all, they are both for beginners. So either one is a great option. So next we have our regional team. So if you are 7th through 12th grade, you have the opportunity to try out for the local team, as we discussed earlier, or the regional team. And so the regional teams are our top teams, 13 through 18U. So if you try out for a regional team and you don't make it, we will place you on a local team. And so if for some reason you only want to make a regional team or none at all, kind of let us know that in your pre-registration form so we can know to either place on a regional team or not at all. But unless you tell us that, we will place you on a regional team, or if you don't make that regional team, you'll be placed on a local team. And so for a regional team, they practice twice a week. They still have that tryout fee, that Delta membership fee, but they also have a second additional jersey for $55 because they'll be playing in 2-day events, so they'll need a jersey for Saturday and Sunday. And so with the twice a week practices, they'll do 5 to 7 2-day tournaments around Arkansas or really close surrounding states. We have a list of tournaments on there that we usually choose from, and so you'll kind of get that schedule early on in the season so you can plan accordingly. And those season dues are usually between $650 to $850, just kind of depends on the tournaments that your team ends up choosing. So next we're going to go over the checklist for tryouts. So regardless of whatever team you are trying out for, whether it is developmental, whether it's local, whether it's regional, there is a checklist to do for tryouts. And keeping in mind when we're talking about those teams, when you are in 4th through 6th grade, we're going to try to get everyone in, and that's really about the learning and the experience. Whereas when you are in 7th or 12th grade, it is not equal playing time. Of course, we're going to try to get you in, but we're trying to focus a lot more on competition based. So just keep that in mind. Equal playing time is not guaranteed. So for the checklist for tryouts, the very first thing you must do is register for www.deltavolleyball.net and get your Delta membership. And so all of this is spelled out very detailed on this packet we're going over that you can find online. And so when you get that membership, it's a little different than last year. You will have to go to that website, and if you had an account before, renew your Delta membership. If you're brand new, you will just create a Delta membership. And so you'll have to create a Sports Engine account before doing so, and make sure you remember your username and password, because a lot of things we use, it's all consistent through Sports Engine. And so this year, you can have a family account if you have multiple players, and you'll have sub-profiles within your family Sports Engine account. But when you're getting your membership, you will pick the $10 tryout membership. And they're not doing refunds this year, so whether you were to not make a team or whether COVID-related issues, they're not refunding that $52 membership. And so instead of buying it like typical, we do just $152, this year you will buy the $10 tryout membership now, and then later in a month or so, I'll tell you go back in if you make a team, and you will purchase the upgrade for $42 to give you a regular membership. Which once again, if you're 4th through 6th grade, you will definitely make a team. 7th through 12th grade, they're skill-based teams, and we absolutely try to find a place for everyone. We typically do not have to cut a ton of girls, and we try to get that opportunity. I just want you to kind of keep that in mind. So once you get that $10 membership, it will give you the option to save it to your Apple Wallet for a digital membership, or you can print your membership. Do one of those two things because you will have to show proof of membership at tryouts. Also, write down that number, because in the next thing you have to do, our online pre-registration form, it'll ask you your USAV number, because this is required for you to have this for tryouts, as your Delta membership is your insurance. This is what everyone needs, no matter where you play club, to give you that insurance, and is also to allow us to put you on a roster. So the next thing you'll do after you have that Delta membership is you will go to our website, HollenBallJuniors.com, and we have a tryout pre-registration form. And it mainly is just about contact information and asks a lot of different questions. It'll ask that USAV number that you just bought. It'll ask your practice availability. So keep in mind, we are working with about 200 schedules, and so make it as detailed and available as possible. Consider all other sports you may have, but also if you have something that starts at 7 on a Wednesday, don't put you can't practice the whole Wednesday. Say not before 7 on a Wednesday, or just be as specific as possible, because that makes it so much easier for us to work with. And so another question on that pre-registration form on our website is, what should we know? A few things like this: if there's any medical, or if you have a special weird scenario or situation, that would be a place to put that. Or school is something we consider when making teams, and I'm going to talk about that a little more in depth later. But if you have certain girls that you're trying really hard to be on a team with, put that in this box, and it's not guaranteed because we look at a lot of factors when making teams. So it is not guaranteed, but we do look at those when making teams, and if at all possible we can make something work, we do try to make those recommendations. So the next thing is just show up at tryouts. So you will need to bring $80 to tryouts. Regardless of what team you're trying out for, bring $80. So that will cover your tryout membership or your tryout fee for $25. It will cover your jersey fee, which will be either $55 for local and regional or $25 for developmental. So that extra $30 for developmental will be credited to season dues. So bring that $80 in cash or check to HollenBall Juniors, and then you'll just bring that digital or printed proof of Delta membership that we talked about. And so we'll talk about when tryouts are in just a little bit. So when we're making teams, it's important to realize that we are making teams from 4th grade to 12th grade, considering whether they tried out for local, for regional, for developmental, but ultimately they are skill-based teams. So we have a really structured system of how we take stats at tryouts and do that whole process. So we have 4 to 8 coaches keeping stats of all of the girls at tryouts, and each coach is ranking each player 1 to 10 on all of those different basic skills, as well as adding specific comments for different drills and gameplay things that we are doing. And then we will take an average of each of those ranks for each skill and then add all of the averages for a total score that your daughter will have for tryouts. And we will compare those scores to make the team skill-based. So like for 13U, we'll have an A team, a B team, a C team, and so forth. But we also have to consider position as well as we look at age, because you can play up, but you can't play down. And we look at school as that secondary factor. So kind of like I said, if you put in that box, you really want to be on a team with this person, this person, this person, this person. We don't just, we can't guarantee that will happen, but if we have 7 girls that try out from Clinton and they all want to have a school team together to try to get better for their upcoming school season, there's very good chances we'll be able to make that happen. So we do try our best to kind of look at those factors as well, and we've been really successful with making those grants in the past. We're just kind of playing all of those factors and make sure that it's still being skill-based. So with that being said, I kind of mentioned that you can play up but not down. Typically, if you were like in 8th grade, so 8th grade is typically 14U, for example. Well, if you had you're really old, and based on your birthday, you were technically 15U. In the past, we've been able to do age waivers where you could play with your grade. This year, they have eliminated age waivers, so we cannot play you down with your grade. So if you are an old 8th grader, you'll technically have to play up with the grade where your birthday and where your age places you. So make sure on that pre-registration form that you're making sure that your age, based on the age chart that we have there for you to utilize, that you're coming to the right tryout time with your age group, since age waivers will not be granted this year. So moving on, it's a little different process after tryouts and kind of before tryouts. Just keep checking your email that you put on file, because I'll have to send you an email for you to accept that you're affiliated with our club so we can add you to our directory. So that way, once we form teams, I will send you another email and you will have to accept team assignment. I'll tell you like your team and your coach. You'll have to accept team assignment for me to be able to add you to a roster. And then you'll have to print the letter of commitment that is on our website and bring that to your first practice for us to have on file. And that kind of locks you in and commits us for this season. Our teams will be posted by Sunday, November 20th, which you should be contacted by your coach by then as well. And so you should have already had an email by then as well about where your team placement is at. And so it is important to kind of be mindful that after tryouts and after we have ordered jerseys, that $80 fee that you paid at tryouts is non-refundable. If you don't make a team, that $55 for the jersey will be refunded. So the first week of practice will be the first week of December. We will be off for 2 weeks at Christmas and off 1 week at spring break. Other than that, we will look at all the times your team put for the best time for practice, and it'll be consistent throughout the season. Okay, so now for tryouts. Our tryouts are Saturday, November 7th and Sunday, November 8th. You can look on this flyer when the time you need to be at the Greenbrier Junior High Gym will be. You need to get there 30 minutes early for the registration process. As you can see, we have tryouts split up a lot more this year. So they may look kind of small at tryouts. It's just because we have them really isolated to pretty small groups just to promote social distancing. And so it will be closed tryouts this year, so parents can help with the registration process, but parents will not be allowed in to tryouts. And so after tryouts, we'll give a few minutes to kind of size and try on jerseys, and then you're able to leave after that hour and a half tryout process. Just remember to get there early. And keep in mind that you're looking at the most updated schedule. 4th grade is now at 9:30 in the morning, and then the high school is now at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. And so you can kind of look, based on your age and grade, where you'll come to tryouts and what day on the weekend of the 7th and the 8th. So something we have this year for our 4th to 5th and 6th graders, we realize that a lot of them are beginners and might be nervous about tryouts. So we're going to host 2 clinics this year to kind of ease their nerves, to teach them basic skills, and to actually run through some of the drills we're going to do at tryouts. And so we'd really love your girls, if they're 4th, 5th, or 6th grade, to come and build their confidence. No matter how much they know about volleyball, it just helps doing those drills in front of other girls and kind of getting them prepared for tryouts. So our first one will be Monday, November 2nd from 6 to 7:30. And then Thursday, November 5th will be our second one from 6 to 7:30 at the hangar in Spring Hill, which is between Greenbrier and Conway, 53 Cessna Drive. They will be $20 each. However, this year we are capping and limiting the spots to 20 girls per clinic. You can come to both. You can come to one. You don't have to come to either of them. It's just an opportunity we're providing. But those spots are limited and they will go fast. So if you want a spot, text me at 501-581-9594 to RSVP a spot. Walk-ins are welcome, or you can text me last minute to see if we have spots left. But if you do walk in, you'll only be allowed in if we still have spots remaining. So RSVP to those spots because they will go fast. And if for some reason something changes and you can't come, please let me know ASAP so we can give your spot to someone else. So on the very last page, we have some player and parent guidelines, and just to be kind of mindful of throughout the season. So please look over those. And remember to follow us on Facebook because we will continue to put updates. So that's HollenBall Juniors on Facebook. And I mean it when I want you to come to me at any time with any questions, with any concerns, with any problems doing this trial process, or even for me just to get to know you better or answer any questions. All in all, we are just thankful for the opportunity to be able to play this season. And we can't wait to see what this season 2021 brings. I'm very fortunate for y'all and just the support that you all are. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.